that model and that understanding, you can change some of those pieces and therefore change the outcome that they're struggling with. So, in that simple thing, this is why, we just did this simple thing of circumduction of the scapula. Again, you could teach any child to do this, but what the child will not understand is what it actually means. And again, if you do this and you feel like, boy, she's reticent about the elevation part of it, but she's having a lot of symptoms up here, in that movement, you will then understand, oh, the neurological activity that's happening from below is stimulating a response up here, and the only way ultimately to get rid of this is to solve this. And there are many cases where what they perceive and what they present with is not what you discover when you do this. And then you begin to ferret out, oh, one of the ways that could be happening is because of thus and so, right? And that's the model that you construct. Is there a way to test it? Right? Absolutely. If she's a little reticent in doing this motion, treat the things that you believe would do that, latissimus, whatever, And then if you do thorough treatment with that, does the movement change? And does her experience change here? My guess is that if somebody came in and they had a lot of experience with other therapists and they've had this worked on many, many times, it never really solves it. One strategy, if the client agrees to this, is let's only do this and let's not focus maybe even at all up here. Let's just see what happens, because that would be in a way the ultimate test. Or you could say, I'm going to spend 70% of the time with this, and let's spend 30% of the time with this. Right? Another way that you could do this, and I've done this quite a bit, is I press wherever, maybe here, but I press somewhere, and the client says, oh my gosh, that's incredibly tender. Like, that's the place. But I believe, in the model that I've constructed through the movement and whatever, that this is actually probably, again, a result of other things. One way to do this is, okay, that's really sensitive, right? That's our guy. I will memorize exactly how much pressure I'm using. Now, we're going to do other things, and every time I go back to this, I want to know, does this change? So if, in this case, if this is very sensitive at 4 pounds and 4 ounces of pressure, and you must know what that is, you must be able to do that, so that you can replicate it. And if it is really sensitive at that pressure, and you do the other things contextually you believe are the problem, and you go back, and this is much, much less, what it tells everybody is that this is a product of something else. And that working on this till the cows have come home twice won't solve it. And believe me, we've all been there, right? We've all done that. And it's frustrating for everybody. Why does it not ultimately resolve? That's a great way to test the hypothesis. And my experience, the clients love that sort of thing. In the beginning, it's like, there it is, go after it, go get it, whatever it is, right? Like, yeah, we know where it is, but let's see if there are underlying mechanisms that created it. Does that help? And it gives us a reference point. And I think my experience with clients is they really like that, because they can see, oh, there's a context to this. And they will allow you then to work on other things besides that one spot that, honestly, 17 other people have also wailed on, right? And that's the richness of it. And while there are patterns to this, it's not like for every one thing, it's this or it's that or it's this. Guess what? People are different, right? There are kinematic chains, there are things, but your job is to understand that. Just like I hate to say it, but in Norway, I had to bring Norway into this, right? In Norway, people speak Norwegian, guess what? But there are like 60 dialects. And people who live near Oslo can't really understand the people who lived in in the islands up north, but it's the same language. I can't understand it. So each person has different dialects in their nervous system in the same way that we have different dialects. So you have to discover for this person, how is their nervous system wired? But every movement is a reflection of their nervous system. How rich is that? Isn't that just amazing? How lucky are we and how privileged are we to have a conversation with people's nervous systems in that way? That's the richness of the work.